Now I would like to call upon Naina to introduce our guest for the day. Thank you.
A very good morning to one and all present here. Now, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce our esteemed speaker for the day. We are honored to have with us Mr. Mohin Mohammad sir, a highly accomplished professional with extensive experience in talent acquisition and corporate training. Sir is currently with Finastra and has played a significant role in global early careers, talent attraction and program management. His expertise spans across campus relations, corporate mentoring, business parenting, and public speaking. Mr. Mohan sir is also recognized as a LinkedIn top HR voice, which reflects his strong presence and the leadership in HR community. With his rich industry experience and deep understanding of what recruiters actually look for, we are confident that today's session will provide us with valuable insights into resume building, avoiding mistakes, and standing out in placements. Sir, we are truly grateful for your time and presence today.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Now, I would like to kindly request Sir to take over the session. Once again, we welcome to our campus, Sir.
Thank you. Hello there. जगह नहीं है बैठने. Everybody comfortable with Hindi, English, Kannada?
Yes, sir.
No.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No, sir. ठीक है. But how many Kannadigas speak Hindi? देखा ये है Bangalore का value. There, you are okay, right, with Hindi?
Yes,
See? I'm just messing with you guys. All right then. So, everybody doing good?
Yes, sir.
How many of us didn't eat breakfast? सब खा गए मतलब. Which is a good thing because like 15 minutes into the session, I know you all will be snoring. Right? Okay. See, I understand it's a Saturday morning. So I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, right? It's not easy. Even I was thinking, should I go? And I'm like, no, it's not fair, right? I promised somebody I need to keep up my word. Having said that, I want to just start the session with showing some gratitude to God for what He's made me and how He's kept me. Gratitude to my parents for all their sacrifices, all their hard work and the effort that they've put in me. And the reason I feel I am capable today is like fully due to them, all right? And then a lot of gratitude to the members of the committee, Santosh, Vivek, and all of them who made this happen. And finally, a wholesome gratitude to you all for showing up. आपके पास choice थी, right? I could have just said I had stomach pain Saturday, so I couldn't make it. It's a very common thing, right, between the youngsters today. So, but then you thought, okay, maybe if I get to learn something, 10 minutes or even like a minute of learning, I think I can take something back. So you decided to show up on a Saturday morning. So I'm really grateful, okay, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for, making it to this session. Having said that, I want to begin this session with asking one quick question. How many from here deserve a good job? Everybody deserves a good job. Fantastic. Now let me ask you the reality. How many of you have prepared for it? Not too many hands I see. Dheere, dheere. Okay, which is fair, right? So that's the gap that we want to bridge, right? Because everybody feels that, bhai, मैंने 5 लाख दिए, 10 लाख दिए, whatever. 20 lakhs, and I took admission here thinking I'm going to get a good placement. Is it the college's responsibility to get you placed, or is it your own? Your own, right? But somewhere deep down, I feel like, bloody, I've paid so much, they better take care of it. I will do like what I'm supposed to be doing, but let them get a good organization in. Right? Feels that way, which is fair. I'm not denying that. But then, even if a good organization comes in, do you think that I'm prepared in a way that I crack that interview? That's a question that you need to ask yourself, okay? One more question. How many of us sitting here didn't want to do an MBA? Probably thought of something else but landed up here. Let me give you an example of it, right? In my life, I wanted to be an autopsy specialist. You know what autopsy is? जो मुर्दों को काटता है ना, postmortem करता है. I wanted to be that. Genuinely, no frenzy, but I really liked it because I did PCMB in my 11th and 12th. So when they gave me like a cockroach and a frog to dissect, right? I enjoyed it. Rest of my class, yeah, they're doing all that. And you know women, right, when it comes to cockroach? So everybody's maine kiya. And somehow I developed a taste for it. Then I thought maybe this could be a good career for me. And when I conveyed this to my parents that I want to do this, first they thought our son has some genuine problem and he needs proper counseling. Then my dad said, no, there's nothing wrong with him. Ek laat padegi, he'll be back on the way. Because my mom really was concerned. She's like, maybe there's something really wrong and he needs professional help. So that didn't happen, obviously. And then I moved on doing something that I was not very enthusiastic about, which is I then did psychology in my bachelor's and then did MBA in HR and then PhD in management. So the reason I asked this question is, right, sometimes it's just influential, right? My parents forced me to do an MBA, or my siblings or cousins, chacha, chachi, relatives. All that happens, right, within a family. MBA कर ले, अच्छा लड़का मिलेगा जिसके पास अच्छा पैसा है. It happens, right? Pretty common, right? MBA कर ले, you will get a good job and then later your life will be settled for boys and all that. So how many of us were influenced by somebody to do an MBA and you're here? None. सब अपनी मर्जी के मालिक हैं मतलब. Which is good. Now that you're here, what next? What's the plan of action for future? Get a job? Become an entrepreneur?
Yes, sir.
Entrepreneur? चाय की दुकान खोलने की? That is also entrepreneurship. How many of us have heard about this guy called MBA Chai Wala?
Yes, sir.
Chai hai na, end of the day. But the level is different, that's it. Was able to open stores in Britain, right? You know what? The amount of money that you can make in a business cannot be made as an employee. We all know that, right? So no business is a bad business, okay? Anything that you do with determination, dedication, deliberation is really good. It will pay off, if not today, sometime. So the reason I ask this question is because take your life. Okay, before that, how many of us here have attended any of my sessions before? Anybody? ठीक है, then I can use the same jokes जो पिछले बार है. Otherwise, it looks like I'm making a fool of myself, right? Repeat. So, people sitting here, let's just do some mental activity, right? Let's just take our lives fast forward around 7-8 years. Now I'm guessing that people sitting here are around 21, 22 on an average approximately, most of us. थोड़े बुड्ढे लोग भी होंगे 25-26 के. I'm kidding. It's okay. How many of us are married? किया है, मतलब किया है. ऐसे subconsciously your hand just went up. होगा. Subconsciously the truth comes out, right? Sometime. It's okay. You know what? I am in favor of people who get married early because I was stupid. मैं सोचा अभी क्या 29-30 है, अभी अपन कवारे अच्छे हैं and all. I realized my mistake when I got married. So I'm in favor of people who get married early because if you can handle responsibility early, if you can take up responsibility early, right, life will be much, much better. Believe me when I say this. Now I'm chasing money at the age of 40 with 3 kids. Imagine if I would have done same thing 10 years back, I would have been elsewhere. It's not that I'm regretting, I'm pretty content and happy. Thank God for that. But still, I'm saying things could have been better. So I'm in favor of people who get married early because that's a very smart move. Okay, don't ever think that, okay, after 30 dekhenge. Believe me, you would have missed the train. So the reason I ask for us to fast forward our lives is because if you think in the future, what's going to happen with me when I'm 30 or 31? And if you can really paint the picture of imagination and see where you are, you will understand how important it is for you to take an action right now. I'm saying a realistic picture. See, nobody knows me better than me, right? Nobody knows you better than you. Whatever you are. Now, if I think about myself, right? Am I academically too strong? I know that the answer was no. Can I do wonders using my academics? I probably knew somewhere deep down in my heart, no, I will not be able to do wonders. But that will help me plan accordingly. What is my areas of strength? Can I leverage those and move ahead in the game to be where I want to be? That's the reason I say paint your imagination realistically, because you know you better than anybody else. So if you fast forward your life and then you see where you are. Now this is a situation where you cannot lie to yourself, right? I can't look into the mirror and say, oh, Brad Pitt, you look pretty cool, man. It'll be a slap in my face, right? So if you can realistically talk to yourself and then paint a picture in the future and imagine where you are, that realization will actually help you move forward in the game. Am I talking too much English? मेरे को रोक दो हाँ बहकाव में I just go with the flow. So if you think it's like a bouncer, just stop me. Hold on. And the reason I say this, my friends, is because that's the time you will need the most of this world. Which is what? Which is what? Paisa, W, money, duddu. Because that's the reality, right? If we don't have money, there's no respect. Forget people outside the family, within the family itself, right? If you don't have money, there's no respect. And that's the kind of society we live in. It's all right. I mean, that's the way the world works, so that's fine. So if you can make it and you're not making it, then it's not the people who are blaming you or stupid, it's us that is stupid and who is to be blamed. The reason I say this is because if we are in this room, God has given us a very sane brain, which means we are stable, we don't have any challenges, and thank God for that. Which means we have a capability of making money. It's not that difficult. We just need to understand how, leverage that, and focus on the platform that can help us make money. That's the formula. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying it requires some thought. Because if you can force your brain to think than normal, that's some brain exercise, and that's where the initiation of our life happens. How many of us enjoy movies? Movies. Okay, that's a fair number. So there's this movie called Lucy. Anybody watch Lucy? क्या है हीरोइन का नाम? हीरोइन का हीरो का नाम क्या है? Things. I'll tell you a fact today, okay? When a mother gives birth to a child, right? Or when a mother is carrying a child in her womb, the child produces so many chromosomes or so many cells that actually help repair the mother's system. So mother and child are connected through an umbilical cord, right? I'm a science student, so it's easy for me to relate. I don't know, you all are like from MBA, finance, marketing, HR, पैसा ही घूम रहा है तुम्हारे दिमाग में. But if I know you can really relate to what I'm saying. So with this connection, right, the child is actually able to help the mother in a lot of ways. It's not just like the mother giving birth to a child, but it's the child actually able to help mother. Most of us have heard about this scientist called Einstein, right? Yes. Okay, fair. He made a comment, okay? He said, I'm actually standing on the shore of knowledge just collecting shells, but the shore of knowledge is as deep as the ocean. Suna hoga na kidhar to aapne, which is actually a fact, okay? Now, if you calculate as to what is the capacity of our brain that is utilized in an actual human being's life throughout on an average span of 60 to 70 years. Yes, less than 1%. So imagine what kind of power God has given to your brain. And that's the reason we are the most supreme, right? In animal kingdom. The human is the highest, right? Why? Because of your brain, the speciality of your brain. Why am I talking about brain when it's supposed to be resume? Because everything that will happen will be basis your mindset, basis your brain power. You can be the best at preparation, you can be the best at your academics, you can be the best with your knowledge. But if you don't leverage your smartness, all that doesn't matter. Okay? So, when you paint a picture in the future and you know what's your capacity and your capability, and you can tell yourself, you know what, if this is how it's going to be at that point in time, I want to change it, I want to make it better, I want to improvise it. And believe me, it's a possibility. It can happen. It's just that you'll need to give thought. And that's where the initiation happens, right? Like I mentioned earlier, the exercise to your brain helps you channelize and focus. If you have a very strong capacity of controlling your thoughts, you're in League 2, as I call it. Why League 2? Because 90% of this world is just on that rat race. I get up in the morning, I have a routine, I follow the routine, I get tired, I hit the bed. Tomorrow, repeat. How do I differentiate myself from others? What is that I do differently to be able to achieve what I want to achieve? Everybody has desires, right? Everybody has ambitions. If I were to ask how many of us want to become a millionaire, maybe 90% of our arms will go up. How many of us want to become a millionaire? Oh, that's a few. What about the rest? Billionaires?
Yes, sir.
I like it. पॉकेट में होल है क्या देख लो पहले. My mother used to tell me that as a kid. I used to have big ambitions. She's like, just check if your underwear is tight enough. I'm like, yes, mom, it's good. So, and it's not an impossible task, believe me. I'll give you a very nice example of a person. So we all know Elon Musk and all that, right? How many of us know Rakesh Jhunjhunwala? Finance students to banta hai. Malum hona chahiye. You all know, if you've read about him, he's a person that I really look up to, okay? With regards to like achieving his dreams. Not with regards to his betting, he had a bad habit of betting. He could bet on a horse that is losing and shoot that horse at the end of the day. Just for that fizz. He knew that the horse is going to lose, but he would still bet on it. थोड़े होते हैं लोग संकी हो जाते हैं थोड़ा पैसा आने के बाद. It's okay. So let's look at the good side of it, right? So Rakesh Jhunjhunwala started his career with 5,000 to 7,000 rupees udhar leke. With a credit of 5,000 to 7,000 rupees. When he died, right? He recently passed away a couple of years back. He left a legacy of how much? Close to $7 billion USD. 1 billion होता है आज के हिसाब से 9,500 crore INR. That's 1 billion. But those days it was close to 80s. 8,000 crores INR was 1 billion. So that into 7, that was his legacy that he left behind. So I was just reading a post online and it put a very nice picture. So a graveyard tha. So behind that stone, right, the gravestone was one skeleton standing with a hoodie, the Grim Reaper jaise bolte hain na, angel of death to make it simple. And he had a post, no luggage beyond this point. And the person standing opposite to him at his death. So this is just a picture for you to imagine things. He was carrying, so he's in a jacket which is a proper 3-piece coat, tie and all that, proper shoes. And he's carrying 2 briefcases. Now I'm guessing those briefcases are full of money. And here the Grim Reaper stands behind that, stone saying no luggage beyond this point. And there's one beautiful hadith in Arabic. It says, when you die, right, 3 people or 3 things will accompany you. One is your people, one is your wealth, and one is your deed. 2 will return. Your wealth and your people will return. They will probably cremate you or bury you, whatever. As per the religion, they will return. Only thing that carries with you or goes along with you is your deed. What you've done for others in this life. That will remain. So what I'm proposing to you, my friends, is don't just look at wealth as a success. Look at how many people can you take along you. For me, being successful is my ambition, my passion right now. But when I am successful at some point in time, if I am not able to think of 4 other people who I care about to be successful, then I'm greedy. I'm selfish. The reason I say this now is because we all live in an era where there is a lot of startups, right? उसमें unicorns है. What is a unicorn? A successful startup which converted into $1 million or $1 billion industry becomes a unicorn. Like Zomato, Swiggy, Uber, Ola, you name it, Boat, whatnot, right? Sennheiser, all that brands, right? If you like notice, there's one common thing within these brands. There's a founder, there's a co-founder. होता है ना? You will see there's a founder, there's also a co-founder. Now what does this mean, like there's a founder and a co-founder? There are probably more than one people who had a similar vision and have partnered and have started a venture. Most of the ideas that happen in your academic life. So if you find people that have a similar vision and a purpose, join hands, because two brains are better than one. 4 ideas are better than 2, right? If one brain can think of 2 ideas, then probably 2 brains can think of 4 ideas. Now we all have our differences. That's perfectly understood. But it's up to me how I can respect the opposite person's difference and still try to find a purpose in what we want to do. Okay, so that's the reason I say paint the picture of your imagination. If you see a similar goal to somebody else, try to partner and then join hands. So I'm going to give you something that you can remember this session by, a framework, so to say. What's the spelling of Adobe? A-D-O-B-E. Okay, I'm going to just break down the individual alphabets. So you don't need to make a note of it, just picture it in your head, that's good enough. A for me stands for analyze. So I put you in that analysis mode right now. I've started to ask you to think how your life is going to be in a few years, which I'm sure most of you would have had a glimpse at least. If you didn't paint the entire picture right now, at least you got a glimpse of how things would be for you, how life looks ahead in the game, right? So this actually helps you to work towards your goal. See, it could be like really good, then you're just in a dream world, okay? If you think things are not going how I want it to be, then some reality is actually hitting you back. And then, now that you know, you can, act accordingly and take action towards it. Okay, so that's the reason I called it analyze. When you analyze, you get the reality. So I'm going to give you an exercise as to how you would want to analyze, right? Just by talking, things don't work, right? So sit by yourself, throw your phones away. Sit by yourself at least for half an hour. Introspect. Anybody heard of this word? Introspection? Ask, yes. What is my purpose in life? What is it that I'm chasing? What am I running behind? What do I want to achieve? This will give you the goals that you would want to set for yourself. Believe me, the answer for everybody will not be money. Some will say, I want to attain salvation, moksha. Right? For most of us, it'll be money. For some, it'll be like afterlife. So depending on whatever it is, you will not get this answer unless you analyze and introspect. So sit with yourself 30 minutes without any disturbance, without any blockage. Let your mind go free. How many of us seen Matrix? क्या बोलता है उसमें? Morpheus, Neo, let go. Right? It's quite an old movie, I know, difficult to recall. So let go. Ask yourself, what is my purpose in life? Why am I here? What am I wanting to do? What am I to achieve out of this entire system? When you sit, right, the first 5-6 minutes is all judgment being clouded. So many thoughts. Have I sent this email? Is anything pending? For me at least. For you, did she text back? I can understand. I've been through your life, right? The age. I'm just kidding, okay? So many things, right? Crowd your mind. But after that 6-7 minutes and you force yourself to sit down and still think, things will start clearing out. Because you have asked your brain a question, naturally it's going to throw an answer at you. That's how God has designed our brains. And when you get the answer right, don't leave it there. Take that answer. Now is the time to make it in material. Put it on a clean sheet of paper. Write it down. And then about it, you can research about it, it's reality. And that's how successful people become successful. It's called discipline. So that's analyze. The next comes is D, right?
Yes.
In the Adobe. So D for do it. Take action. Analysis without action is paralysis. See, there are two kinds of people in this world, right, that inhabit this world. Yeah, that live in this world. One who dream the dream. Two who live the dream. There are people who actually are living their dreams, right? I want to travel, I want to cruise in a Bentley. I want to have a Rolls-Royce Phantom. I'm just giving materialistic examples, right? But there are people actually doing that, right? And they're living their dreams. The latter category, the first one, who are dreaming their dream, what's the problem? They're complaining. They're whining. Every little, they're finding reasons. There are a lot of chairs. No, I'm feeling so uncomfortable that you're standing. Baith jao na. Here, there are a couple of more chairs. He's bought a couple. Sit, no, please. Unless you've been punished by yourself. Why I ask you to sit is because it's easy to sleep while sitting versus stand and sleep. Now I'm being realistic, right? Because at your age, I had the same talent. I could keep my eyes open and so I understand, I relate. One person, hey, there's one chair here, buddy. The red seat is awaiting you. So, D as in do it, right? Take action, do it right. What happens is when you do something and if you don't do it wholeheartedly with dedication, there's a good possibility or a good chance that it will be done halfway. Like they say, right? Half knowledge is dangerous. So do it in like a proper manner until you execute it completely. And believe me, the effort that you put in will pay off. Initially, we might fail, we might see like, things not going right, but eventually it'll turn up to be really good. So analyze, take action. The next letter? O. What can you think of for O? Opportunity. Which is a very good thing, right? Opportunity. It's actually open. When I say open, we need to be open to accept change. What is the only constant in this life? Change. Pardon my French. Bullshit about AI, ML and all that. But it's in our pockets today and we are coping up with it, right? Imagine a biology student knows LLMs, Copilot, Gemini, ChatGPT, Google LM, all that. I don't need to, but I am forced to. You understand the difference? Why? Because if I have to survive, I better know it. I'll tell you a beautiful story. How many of us have heard of this organization called Kodak? Wow, not bad. How come? You all are born before 2000 or what? Born in 2000. Okay, fair. So there was this organization called Kodak, okay? They used to produce films, the reel, the actual reel, not instant garam reel. The actual reel, right? The black film where, so hamare zamane mein kya hota tha? You go to a photographer, you tell him, boss, I want a picture. He'll click, he'll take a picture and then he'll go in the light using some chemical like water or liquid. He will put that film on a cardboard and develop the photograph. That's how the traditional methodology was, and this organization called Kodak used to produce films, the black reel. So one of the members of this Kodak, he told the entire board members committee, saying that the digital era is approaching really fast, and this is in the 80s, okay? The digital era is approaching really fast. We should probably go digital. The other member said, what's wrong with you? We are the best in the market. Our competitor, that time the competitor was Fujifilm. Fujifilm is like way somewhere and there's no other competitor in the market that can touch us. And you're telling to kill the golden goose. So he said I'm just giving the suggestion because digital era is actually approaching and we probably got to go digital. And they're the first people, that's the first company, you can read it online, that actually bought a digital picture or a digital camera. Today, nobody knows what Kodak is. Why? Because they didn't accept change. When you don't accept change, you become obsolete. Obsolete is something that cannot be put into use. And once you become obsolete, you become redundant, useless, and you're thrown out of the system. This is what happens if you don't embrace change, my friends. So you need to be open to accept, open to learn, open to change. Somebody gives me feedback, I don't take it positively. Is it affecting the person who gave the feedback or is it affecting me? I am being stupid to not receive feedback because this person is trying to do good to me. He or she is giving me feedback for what? For me to improve. I am thinking, मेरे को ही समझा रही है. I'm not taking it in the right manner. I'm not being a sport. Is it going to affect that person? He or she would say and just walk away. I need to take it in a nice relative manner. So if somebody is trying to help you, most of the times it will look crude, it will be bitter. बोलते ना सच कड़वा होता है. That's how it is. But that's the benefit. कोई आपकी बहुत तारीफ कर रहा है ना? Somewhere behind your mind, just think, am I that good? First question. If you know the answer is no, then you know this person is not your friend. Because life without criticism is not worth living. So be open. Be open to accept, be open to change, be open to learn. And you will see how things will happen when you're open to learn new things. Abhi kya ho raha hai? It's a era and age of certifications. Now your normal degree is not going to benefit you. You all know that, right? I need to top it up with some kind of a certification. I need to stand out from the crowd. I need to be a little different for me to be able to make my mark and get into an organization or the system. And all that is going to happen only when you're ready to change. Ready to change?
Yes, sir.
Yes. After 2-3 seconds. Change what? Clothes? Mindset. Very good. What's the next letter? A, D, O? B. B. B is quite interesting, you know. Build lasting relationships. Not the one that you're thinking of right now. Reflecting back to that founder, co-founder, those kind of relationships. Why I ask build lasting relationships is because when you go to a state where you've crossed 10 years of your career, 10 years of work experience in your life, right? That time, you know, what's your net worth? Your network is your net worth. How many people you know, not followers, instant garam pe, YouTube pe, not all that. But the right kind of people you know who can get things done or who can help you in the way you want to be helped or the way you can help others in the way they want to be helped is the network. And it's like, don't be like, you know, how do I don't want to call it foolish, but don't be a person who reaches out to somebody only when they want something. That's bad. A casual hi or how are you doing also is good enough without, you know, there being something that is expected in return. That's not like, you know, a good relationship. They say, like, you know, good relationships last when there is, you know, togetherness in bitter and sweet, both good times and sorrow times. But we with our busy lives don't have time for all that, right? But at least here and there, without any motive behind, कि मेरे को ये चाहिए, that's why I'm calling. No, just a casual conversation also is good enough. The person on the other end should not feel like ये तभी call करता है जब कुछ चाहिए होता है. That's not nice, okay? And it does not take much, right? You can probably just text on WhatsApp or any other like social media platform and say, what's up? That's good enough. Utna to kar hi sakte hai na. I'm not saying like spend hours, you know, invest time, money, effort. No. Just keep up your relationship is all I'm asking. Because it's going to help. The number of jobs that you see that are available open in the market is nothing compared to the jobs that happen in the background through networks. I'm being like very realistic. If there are like good jobs, CEO का opening किधर देखा है क्या आपने कभी? नहीं होता है ना? Why? It always happens through referrals and network and all that, okay? So build lasting relationships, my friend. I'm not just saying with the same age group of, don't take me wrong, okay? Not with the same peers or similar age group or opposite sex, gender, no. It could be anybody. Have a good relationship with your professors. Have a good relationship with somebody who taught you something. Good relationship with your parents, your siblings. All this is going to help. Because what you can cultivate inside a closed environment can be done outside in a better way also. I'm saying personal and professional both. Believe me, you'll realize once you've completed 10 years of your working life that your network is actually your net worth. How much you've got. And the last is E, right? ADOBE, correct. So E is for exceed expectations. How do I exceed expectations? आप मेरे को 1 रुपया दो बोलो, I'm gonna give you 1.5 rupee. Is that how? I'll make it simple for you, right? The norm is overpromise, underdeliver. I'll quote it with an example. My mom calls me and she says, why don't you get these groceries on the way back home? I'm like, yeah, mom, I'm on the way back home. Give me 15 minutes, I'll get it. They're like, cool. So I have set a bar, right? 15 minutes. Now, in 15 minutes, her expectation will be that the groceries will be home, correct? My boss calls me. She's like, Mohin, I want this report, urgently. It's on your table in the next 2 minutes. I've set an expectation, right, about myself. And what happens? The 15-minute grocery is going to take half an hour, 45 minutes. And the 2-minute promise that I promised my boss is going to take 30 minutes or 15 minutes. What have I done? I've overpromised, under-delivered. Correct? मैं बोलता हूँ reciprocate, उल्टा कर दो उसको. Always under-promise, over-deliver. The reason I took both examples, right, one personal and one professional, is because if I can cultivate this habit of putting everything into practice in my personal life, I don't need to be a different person when I go to my professional life. I can be the same skin. Believe me, you don't need to transition between your personal life into a professional life when you go into a professional life. The habits remain the same. Can't change that. So that's the reason. The formula is always under promise, over deliver. My mom calls me, she said, get groceries on the way. I it's going to take me 45 minutes. Now if I get it within 30 minutes also, I've overachieved. Who sets the bar? I did. 15 minutes was the time given by me, right? I gave the ETA. Now I'm giving the ETA, but I'm able to deliver it before the ETA. That gives a different perspective. How people perceive me changes. My boss calls me, she's like, I want this report urgently. I'm boss, too many things on my plate right now. I'm caught up. Can you give me an hour's time and I will ensure it's done. And I know it can be done within 5 minutes. And I send it to her in 15 minutes. The way she's going to perceive me, he's the man. And that is what is required for your growth. Chamchagiri chalta hai. I won't deny. You buttering your boss will also get you promotion. I won't deny. I'm in corporate life for 17 years now. I've seen it. But this works much better. Tomorrow you don't live in that guilt trip saying, Mere ko malum hai how I got my promotion. I can't cheat myself, right? I can cheat the entire world. But I know as a fact that I've got my promotion how. So when people perceive you that he or she is the person that you can count upon, that you can bank upon, you can rely upon, things become much, much easier. And when there is actually a place where, it's by merit, that you get your growth by merit, you'll be the first person to be thought about. And it's not very difficult, believe me. मैं बोल रहा हूँ, I'll tell you in simple terms, keep a buffer to yourself. Do a favor to yourself. You know that this task is going to take 2 days. The teacher has asked you to submit the project. Take 3 days. Initially, they will like, kya slow banda hai and all that, right? But when you do it in time, they will appreciate it because you follow the routine that nobody does, which is under promise and over deliver. And this is the formula to exceed expectations. Have I not exceeded expectations? Even if it is by a minute. Let me ask you a question. How many of us wake up by 4? गलत सवाल पूछ लिया. How many of us sleep by 4? Yes. How many of us wake up by 5? Okay, 8. Let me be realistic. 8. Okay, that's a fair number. See, the work window is going to remain the same, okay? You wake up at 8, you will sleep by 10, 12, whatever. You wake up by 10, you will sleep at 2. Right? The window is going to remain the same. 8 hours, 7 to 8 hours of sleep, the rest 14, 15 hours of work and everything mixed. The only advantage is when you wake up early, your mind, your body, both are fresh. But when you stay late, let's say you wake up by 10, so you naturally sleep by 2. When you stay late, all through the chores that you've done through the entire day of activity, right? At the end, when you really want to spend some time for yourself to be productive in your life, both your mind and your body is tired. This is the only difference. Otherwise, the entire window, everything that you do, accomplish is all the same. In this life, right, 1/4 of our life, if it is like 60 years, right, of the entire tenure, then half of the time we've slept, a little less than half. And the 2 other parts, right, one we give entirely to our employer or our work to receive. We are trading our time with money, right? So we go to office to do what? Work 9 hours or 8 hours, whatever, 9 to 6 and all that. What are we doing? We are trading our time to earn some money back, to be able to, like, fulfill our needs and family and all that, and trying to get there, right? You will see that successful people today, they just don't have one stream of income, right? There are multiple streams of income. They're like stream 1, stream 2, stream 3, stream 4, stream 5, stream 6, stream 7. Some people have 7 streams of income. And that's how you will become. If I keep doing 9 to 6 at office, you think I'll become financially free ever?
No, sir.
And that's what is required in today's world, my friends. You will need multiple streams of income. See, one, understand your passion, right? What your passion lies in. And when you introspect, ask yourself, what is it that I'm good at, and how can I leverage this talent into building financial freedom? How can I make more of my life? And when you you chase the dream, it might take a longer time, but you will be able to achieve it one day. KFC, everybody knows?
Yes, sir.
You know that old crack who bought KFC, right? Anybody knows his name? Colonel Sanders? Yeah, Colonel Sanders. You know, when KFC, he actually introduced KFC 65, at the age of 65. He tried everything, okay, in his life. He was a veteran. He came back, he tried everything, all the possible businesses that he could do. He failed pathetically. His wife said, you're good with only one thing. making chicken. Why don't you try that? At the age of 65, it was a hit. So that old picture that you see on KFC buckets, that's Colonel Sanders. You know Bomban Irani? Virus from that 3 Idiots movie, 3 Idiots, right? He became successful, or he got his first breakthrough at the age of 45. It doesn't matter when. What matters is how and why. You need to have a strong vision, and you will need to prepare accordingly without giving up. And that's when success will happen. Everybody with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fair. Now, do you think we'll start with the resume building?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fair. I was just preparing you all to start thinking differently, right? Now that you are, I think it's time for us to actually begin. So, want to do an activity? Okay, let's do an activity. So, you can raise from your chair, right? No problem, right? Okay. So I'll just count 3. When I say stand up, you stand up. When I say sit down, you sit down. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't break anything. Ready? Stand up. Even a dinosaur will move discreetly, like sit down. Stand up. Sit down. I'm not sure if you're doing it intentionally or it's just happening. Okay, one last time. Stand up. Sit down. I'll give you the rationale behind this exercise. People who were sleeping, I wanted to wake them up. लेकिन मजा नहीं आया यार. क्या stand up, sit down, stupid, like we did this like so many years back. You must be thinking, let's twist it a bit. When I say stand up, you sit down. When I say sit down, you stand up. Okay? Stand up. Whoa, whoa. Okay, sit down. Okay, sit down. Smart, eh? Stand up. Stand up. Oopsie. Sit down. Stand up. See, your smartness didn't last long. Duracell chahiye, Duracell. So we did 2 turns, right? So one more turn is still like pending. Okay, stand up. Sit down. Okay, enough of it. Sit down. Okay, stand up. One round of applause for all of you. Good stuff. See, when there is something that is given outside the box, there's a lag in the system. When I say something to be done outside the routine, there's a natural lag. We don't process things quickly. That's like the norm of our system. That's how we've built in. That's why they said education is the foundation of knowledge, and you want to be really successful, you need to be knowledgeable. So my question is, if my professor, who's done a bloody PhD, who's got the title doctor in his name, comes on a scooter, you're telling me bloody education will make money? Think about it. My professor who's got a title doctor in his name is coming in a scooter. And I see people who are not educated like sitting on millions, mountain of millions. Why is it? What happened?
Show.
What?
Show off.
Show off? As in, my professor is showing off? No, so think about it, right? Logically think, my professor is well educated, right? That's why he's got that title doctor, because he or she, they spent a lot of their time educating themselves, right? So 21, we do what? Our degree. 23 masters, another 4-5 years of PhD. So 27, 28. After so much of hard work, if the person is like, still like, like just making up for his spendings and all that, making up to just live his life, like hand to mouth, then why is it told that education will, give you the foundation and the richness and build? They're just making a dream, right? And that dream is never going to like come real. How many of PhD holders do you know who are rich? And I'll show you more uneducated people who are rich. Why is the difference, I'm asking? Opportunity is like very slight chance, okay, which is true. I won't deny that. Opportunity is there, but a very slight chance. What changes? Mindset. Who said that? Hardship. Hardship is on the professor's side, I'm thinking. But mindset is like a very powerful word. Risk, absolutely. Taking action. True. So I'm guessing like all these fancy words that you're telling, you will use them also, right? Or just saying lip service. Okay, fair enough. I just want to connect my laptop, buddy. Thank you. It's hot in here, right?
Yes.
Is it warm or hot? One second, no, just move this a little bit. Cool. Let me just start it and then we'll connect. Thank you. हाँ इधर रख दीजिए. Thank you. It's not working. The socket. I think something that you put on it worked. चला गया फिर वापस. It started, I think. No, it's good. It's good. नहीं चालू हो गया. No, I have not connected it yet. I'm just waiting for it to start.
You need a break then.
No. Anybody needs a break? Anybody wants a break? Need a break? मैं समझ गया. There is no need. You just came in an hour back, so there's no need. Your system is fresh. Wants a break? There's a difference, right? Need and want? Okay. Nobody wants a break? Crazy people, man. If I would have been there, first hand would have been mine. Let me tell you something about my personal life, okay, about my education. As not as bright as you guys. You guys are like pretty. I'm audible otherwise also, right? Without the mic? Thank you. So, I was like, not even average, to be honest. For me, there was just one thought that circulated my mind all the time. If I don't fail, I'm sorted. Because I won't get kickings at home. Believe me, 40% mil gaya, I'm happy. I don't care. And there were people, they've got 96 and they're crying. I lost 4%. Like stupid. 96 is good enough. And we had a friend, he got 99 in math once and he's like upset. Like bloody 36, man. Happy. 1 mark, he's upset. I had one friend, okay, his name was Sunil. I'll never forget him. So we all are like playing evening time. So Sunil comes, he gives us kulfi. Tab na hum log ke time pe you used to get 1 rupee and 2 rupee kulfi, okay. So he's distributing kulfi and we are thinking Sunil pass ho gaya. Naturally, on the day of result, if somebody is distributing kulfi, that's your perception, right? So Sunil's father comes, tabhi ek bike hua karti thi, TVS Champ. I don't know if you all know it, okay? So his father came and he saw Sunil distributing kulfis. Father also happy. Beta pass ho gaya hoga, isliye kulfi baat raha hai. Then he went home and his dad started like chasing him in lungi, right? So we were shocked, eating kulfi. We were surprised what happened. Abhi achhe gaye. And now he's chasing him. Then after all that, he got some kickings. Then in the evening, we met again and like, Sunil, kya ho gaya? Like, Papa ko malum padega, main fail ho gaya. तो साले कुल्फी क्यों बांट रहा था? अरे 2 ही में फेल हुआ ना, मैं सोच रहा था 4 में फेल होऊंगा. That's happiness, imagine. His anticipation was, I will fail in 4. But he failed only in 2. So logically, his happiness makes sense. वो खुश है क्योंकि 2 और में पास हो गया. But the world's expectations are not as his, expectations are. So that's how life is. Happiness can mean so many different things to so many different people. Started? Just put it in that presentation mode, no, please?
Yes.
Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
What can you read? Acha, you can read the fine lines also. The reason I asked if it's visible is because if you would have said no, I would have probably put some more lights off and then it would have been better. But I don't know, you guys don't want to take advantage. See, this is what I'm talking about. Even better. Jo karna hai karo. We'll just sit back and relax. People always think the pressure is on the first benches or the first rows. It's not true. They're sitting so close that they can be overlooked. and the focus is always behind. But आप लोग तो balcony में बैठने वाले हो. So anyway, the reason it says ace your interview is because, which is the biggest card? जुआड़ी कौन है सर? Ask him. Ask him which is the biggest card. They always say, right? In this, that I will totally agree. कभी नहीं खेला मतलब हर रात सेशन होता होगा. And you would have probably completed that series on Amazon also. Matka, what is that? Matka. Crazy. And he's so like humble. Kabhi nahi khela. That's your last card that you're throwing, I know. So they say in this life of, diplomacy and politics and all that crap, don't put all your cards forward, they say, right? Always have your trump card at the end. Kabhi suna hai? What I say is, put your best card forward. If you can make an impression in the beginning, right? That impression is going to last, but don't fake it. Keep it authentic, keep it genuine, but give it your best shot. See, there are levels of capability, there are levels of meeting expectation, there are levels of performing. I might not be at the top, I might be a mediocre, but my enthusiasm, my zeal is going to make a lot of difference. My passion towards how I'm doing it will always make a difference. That's why I say, right, no matter how far the AI can go, it cannot change that sentiment of emotional touch for anything. It might do things perfectly, but then ultimately, right, there will be something that will be required which is human. So no matter where you are in this bracket of things or, how it's stacked, do your best. My recommendation to you is, you spent time, you've invested, you worked hard. When you go sit at an interview, right, give it your best shot. Boss, you select me or don't select me, I don't care. For me, it's a satisfaction of the time that I came to give an interview today. I sat on the table, I did whatever I could do 100% to my satisfaction. When that happens, right, even if you get rejected, you will still be okay. You will say, you know what, it's a learning. I'm going to do much better next time. And this is where the magic happens. When you can accept defeat and think of it as not a defeat but a learning. How many of us play chess? What is like needed in chess? Patience, planning, right? You have to be 2 moves ahead of your opponent, correct? So for you to do that, you'll need to run your mind. And also think how the opponent is thinking to an extent. You might not be able to like put it out completely as to how the opposite person is thinking, but to an extent you can picturize it, right? Similarly is a situation where when you're sitting at your interview. Okay, let me ask you an even better question. At an interview, who is in the better position? The interviewer or the candidate? Candidate? Interviewer will say, no, you're rejected. What you will do? Who is in the better position? Candidate. I'll tell you why. Candidate is the person who can actually decide what can happen. Authority is with the interviewer. let me get this straight. Authority remains with the interviewer. But what you say at your interview is how the authoritative person can make the decision. If I don't goof up, if I don't make a blunder, naturally the interview is going to go in favor of me. But if I make it a disaster, then now naturally the person with authority is going to show his or her authority. Let me break this down for you to understand it better. When I sit at an interview, there are like certain questions that they ask, right? So let's just go forward. Okay, all this bull crap. So we spoke a lot about mindset, right? So understanding and conceptualizing what you're going to get into also matters the most, right? So when you sit at an interview, don't ever see when I'm sitting at an interview, I'm naturally nervous, right? Irrespective of like number of years I have at the back as experience or whatever, anybody sitting for an interview will be naturally nervous. So I'm going to give you one exercise where it can help you break down your nervousness. For some people it'll be like listening to a joke, for some people it'll be like listening to music, so for some people it'll be like taking a stroll, which is a walk, for some people it'll be something else. But I can't take a walk or listen to music or do anything when I'm sitting at an interview, right? But I'm naturally nervous. How do I break down this nervousness? The best is for you to take a deep breath and then take a deep breath again on top and again. So that's 3 deep breaths without exhaling, right? And then exhale in a very slow fashion. Try it. Inhale. 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 It was like that cooker's whistle. No, I can't even. I thought of a very funny joke that happened with me once. I was doing a similar kind of an exercise with my daughter and she farted. Like, this is too much pressure got built up. she couldn't exhale. Anyway, funny stuff. So, but this really helps, huh? You can try it. Now that it's like an environment where it's all like jovial, you might not realize it, but when you sit at an interview, try it and believe me, it will help. I've tried it. So when you take, let's say your stomach is half empty. Don't go full stomach. Yeah, so take 3 deep breaths consecutively and try to exhale. And if you feel that it's not like calming you down, try it a couple of times more. Believe me, it'll help. It is believed that your nerves start relaxing with the amount of oxygen that you can take into your lungs. Okay, so what is mindset? What can you make of this picture? क्या है mindset क्या है? Okay, and the way of thinking and very good, thinking and acting or reacting. Yeah, all that, right? But why is this important?
It changes how you respond to the situation.
Exactly, very good, my friend. You can take a dairy milk, okay, later. Very well said. It changes the way you respond to a situation. many a times you would have seen that people who are calm, right, can actually deal with lot more stuff. So I'll talk to you about one more picture. It says if you make a decision in anger, right, sometimes these decisions are so fatal that it cannot be taken back. Now, the picture was of a bird and a wolf at a cliff of a mountain or a hill. The bird was trying to maybe tease him or something, and this person tries to jump to catch the bird in the air. Bird is a natural flyer. He'll just like take 2 steps back in the air, and the wolf is straight down. So don't take decisions. So much meaning, right? Just by looking at the pictures. Don't take a decision that you know is going to be stupid. When it happens, our brain tries to give us a signal. What you're doing is not right. But our ego does not let us pass through that channel of thinking. So like, nahi. It hurt my ego. We live in like, which is our galaxy? Anybody knows? Milky Way. Not bad, eh? Astrophysicist. Which is the neighboring galaxy? Uske bagal wala? Milky Way. There is actually an astrophysicist sitting here. What was the name, Brady? Kya? Galiento. Thank you for letting me know. Okay. Imagine so many galaxies, and we are on a small planet and in a small place and in one small college, in one small room, and me individual showing so much ego. Which is not right, right? So let your ego aside when it comes to making smart decisions, okay? And always, people who are successful, right, have kept their egos in their pocket. Because it will actually disrupt the way you take decisions. Be logical instead. Back it up with logic and data, and take data-driven decisions. Okay? This is good. Thank you. So, a small activity for you to do, okay? Everybody has heard of this?
Yes, sir.
MBA students, I'm sure you're like pretty confident on how things work, right? So, picture a square in your head. You can put it on your sheet of paper also if you want to, but I don't want to hassle you. So, picture a square, a box in your head. Now put 4 quadrants. Just put a plus sign in that box. Why am I talking so much English? So that becomes 4 different boxes, right? 4 different quadrants. Each quadrant represents each of this word, right? Strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. Correct? Yes. 4 boxes? Strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. Forget about the last 2, which is opportunity and threat. Not important right now. Let's just focus on the first 2 boxes. Strength and weakness. Ask yourself, what is my one good strength? I know you'll have multiple, but I'm just asking. Ask yourself one strength, just one strength and one weakness. I have like thousands of weaknesses, but I'm sure you can think of one for yourself. One strength, one weakness. हो गया? Or you're still pondering? क्या होगा मेरा weakness? I'm good at everything. Done? Everybody?
Yes, sir.
Quite fast, eh? Homework करके है मतलब. Okay. Pay attention, okay? The strength that you've mentioned about yourself, it could be anything. I'm a flirt. No. I'm good at communicating. I'm good at storytelling, good at writing, good at math, good at finance, good at marketing, good at sales, good at convincing. Whatever your strength is, right? Your one strength. Ask yourself, my friends, is my strength good enough to generate revenue? is my capability that good that it can bring in capital? If it is, congratulations, you're at a very good spot. But if it is not, ask yourself, what will it take for me to get to a stage where my strength and I can leverage it to generate revenue or get an income or bring in capital? It could be any strength. Everybody has one strength, I know for a fact. I'll give you an exercise, okay? Let's say, for instance, that I have a strength but it's not good enough to generate revenue. I'll use the same methodology that I told you about, saying I want to generate revenue, this is my goal, I want to buy a car or a house or whatever, and then I'll need to start planning to be able to make money. The leverage right now I have to be able to make money is my strength. How can I enhance it? So the activity is, for the next 90 days, work on your strength every day, consecutively, consistently for 5 to 10 minutes. It could be anything. Just better it, enhance it, improvise it. Believe me, 90 days is a very good time. 3 months. It does not have to stop on the 90th day. If it's not achieved, move on. More time. Some people are naturally fast and they'll like adapt to things quickly and be able to move along. Some people take their time. That's okay. Work on your strength, okay? Come to weakness. If I say my weakness is communication. My weakness is standing in front of a crowd and being able to speak. I can work on that also. 3 months again. And see if I can try to get rid of that point as a weak point. I'll tell you about myself, okay? I studied in a Kannada medium school till 7th. So my first language was Kannada. For me, science was विज्ञाना, जो विज्ञान बोलते हैं. Math was गणित, गणिता हम लोग के लिए. और social science was समाज विज्ञाना. When I was introduced to an English communicating world, I was zapped. Because people spoke like a train. Like बोल क्या रहा है? थम जा थोड़ा. And my first job, right, I was actually doing sales and my English was all broken and all that. I'm talking like 22 years back, okay. So I'm selling a bean bag, okay, in Mumbai to a customer. My English is all broken. Excuse me. When I'm selling this bean bag, I sounded so funny that my peers, right, my colleagues, my fellow salesmen, they started laughing at me. And the customer who I was giving demo to just walked by without it. So it hurt me a lot, okay? It like broke my heart, and I don't know, like out of embarrassment or something, I started to weep. Others like, I'm like pretty tough, okay? If you have to make me cry, it'll take a lot. So I didn't know how to handle that situation, okay? And I felt like so bad that, like, you know, tears started like dripping, and I like, shit. And then I just walked out. I thought to myself, why did this happen to me? What wrong did I do? Why did I get to deserve this? Then I told myself, if you want to pity yourself, if you want to sympathize yourself, okay, your call. But what are you going to do about it? What action are you going to take? What is your comeback? So I asked myself, what am I good at? I could speak 3 languages at that time. I could speak Hindi, I could speak Kannada because that's what we speak, like naturally at school and and I could speak Urdu. Then I told myself, English also is a language, right? How hard is it for me to learn it? What difficulty will I face if I learn it as a language? That's when I started reading. I started to read. And came a situation, I've gone into professional debates and I've won. I'm not trying to boast. I'm saying if a person who cried because he couldn't speak English well can also do something that he can be proud about it later. And I tell my daughter this, okay, that I put you in the best school in the vicinity. 1.5 lakh is the fee for a year. And I didn't spend more than 5 lakhs for all my education in my life throughout. And I tell her, the reason I put you there is because I don't want you to go through what I did. And I want you to be somebody who really good with what they've done, and I want you to have what I didn't have. And I tell her also how to respect it. So things can be bad right now, my friends, but it does not have to shape your future. What action you take, today I realize that I have shifted that quadrant. I brought my weakness into strength. I can probably talk for an hour, 1.5 hours without a PPT or a page or a cheat sheet, anything, my phone, anything. You give me a topic, I'll prepare and I'll come and I'll talk to you for 1 hour without anything. That was my weakness, right? My communication. You know how much money I've made only communicating? The highest I've made in a day. Any guesses how much a person can make only by talking in a day? 5,000? 10,000? 10,000 ज़्यादा हो गया, कोई देता नहीं है. I'm no Simon Sinek to make in lakhs, buddy. Simon Sinek makes. I made 1 lakh in a day just by talking for 4 hours. See, the intention is not to boast. The intention is to show that a person who's a failure can also be success by just being rigorous with himself or herself. You can change that quadrant from weakness to strength if you want it to be there. That's why I say, ask yourself, introspect. Where do I stand? What can I do to be able to move ahead in life? What can I do? That moment when I cried, right, gave me like a realization. It told me anything can be done, but if you sit with yourself and if you pity yourself, if you sympathize with yourself, you'll go nowhere. You will expect that in return from everybody. But if you slap yourself in the face and you say, why are you crying? You're much better than this, and move on. Believe me, you'll be somewhere where, people will look at you and you'll say, you know what, probably we didn't do right. I don't know where those colleagues are, okay? That day I was really angry with them. Today I'm very thankful to them. That day I thought what hyenas they are. Today I feel they're angels. They actually brought the best in me. Was it not for them, I would have not been where I am today. Serious क्यों हो गए? इतना खराब नहीं है. I'm happy. Okay? Let me share a joke. Let me just make the moment lighter for you. So by God's grace, I'm in a very good position, okay, with my organization. So I manage the entire early careers globally. So it gives me a lot of respect, and I get good perks. So I have a credit card that is given to me by the office, which I can use wherever, whatever I want, and I've given a budget of $100,000 a year. That's close to 95 lakhs. Okay. to use the car. So I'm just saying like the benefits that I've got, okay? So I'm pretty content and happy, and I get the opportunity to work from home, okay? I don't need to go to the office and all that. My boss says, wherever you are, we know that things will get done, and that's the trust. And that's what I've built with them, right? So I'm at home one day and my daughter comes back from school, and so like any other parent, I ask her, baby, how was your day today? She's like, okay. Like, what did you learn? Like, just the usual stuff. She's in grade 2, okay, now. This is like a couple of years back. So I asked, like, what did you learn? She's like, just the usual stuff, the spelling of aeroplane, railways and all that. I'm like, sounds good. She's like, okay. Then I ask her, can I ask you a question? She's like, okay. Then I told her that I'll ask you a follow-up question, and if you answer both of them right, we go out. She's all excited. Then she warns me. She's like, don't ask me anything stupid that I cannot answer, because you'll always do that. She knows me, right? So I'm like, okay, fair. Then she's like, okay, ask. Then I ask her, can you say A to Z without stopping? She's like, that's so like simple. She calls me Baba. That's so simple, Baba. Like, you sure you want me to answer that? She's like, yeah. I said yes. She's like, okay. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Okay, very good. Can you say it the other way around? She's like, मेरे को मालूम था. You will ask something where you will not have to take us out. I like, are you answering the question or not? She just walked away. She just walked away. Then she turned back, and she, being that smart ass that she is, she's like, can you say it? So I'm just standing looking, and we have an open kitchen, so my wife is watching all the drama from the kitchen. And I can see the schmuck on my wife's face, like, pakda gaya hai sala, abhi hoegi bezati hai. I can see it on her face. I'm like, okay. Now I need to prove to both of them that I'm their daddy, right? I'm like, okay, challenge accepted. So I go Z, Y, X, W, V, U, T, S, R, Q, P, O, N, M, L, K, J, I, H, G, F, E, D, C, B, A. Was the reaction from both of them. So my wife later asks me, why do you like torture her? Like, why do you do something where you know you don't want to give her, then why do you give that hope? I like, because on hope, everything runs on hope. And I want her to be prepared for situations like this where you don't have to follow the norm, you have to think outside the box. It was not easy for me to learn English, believe me, let alone speak to a crowd. I know the difficulty and the hard work that I've gone through. Nobody's seen it. Probably my family right now is just seeing I've got more than 70 awards, okay? I've got a Sir M. Vishweshwaraya award, okay, for one of the debates that I had. They're seeing all the good things, okay? Thank you so much. Humbled. They see the good things, but they don't know what I've gone through behind. So one of like the interviewers, right, asks this guy, Michael Phelps?
Yes.
Michael Phelps, pro swimmer, US wala. He's the only person who's got the highest number of golds in Olympics. Gold medals in Olympics. He is the only person in history who's got the highest number of gold. So at an interview, somebody asks Michael Phelps, what is it that you did that gave you these many gold medals? Like, what is different? He said the answer is pretty simple. 7 years of practice. He's like, I understand all that. What did you do differently? He's like, no, you don't understand. So Michael Phelps is telling the interviewer, no, you don't understand. 7 years of practice every day. I have fever, practice. Somebody died, practice. I have cold, practice. It's too cold outside, practice. It's hot, practice. 7 years without a single day being missed. That's the hard work that he's put in to be able to get the golds. When Usain Bolt ran that 9-second 100 meters, he won $9 million. Every second, 1 million. Every second equivalent to $1 million USD. But it's not about those 9 seconds, right? It's about that years of practice that he's put in behind the scenes that led him to be where he is or achieve what he has achieved in life. Right? That's weakness. Because they've continuously challenged themselves. My enemy is me. My limitation is here. I don't have to defeat nobody. I have to defeat my own limitations. I have to see beyond myself. Competition is me. I have to be a better version of myself tomorrow. I don't have to compete with anybody. Have that programmed in your mind, my friends. Okay, enough of pep talk. Let's talk reality. What are the opportunities you have at hand right now? So I've paid good fees and I've come to do MBA. I've left my hometown, I've relocated, I'm doing an MBA from a so-called reputed school is what I've heard, and I'm doing MBA. What are the opportunities I have at hand right now? What can you think of? Thoda loudly. What are the opportunities you have? Qualification, okay. Good school, MBA degree, fair enough. Connections, okay. Certifications, okay. Placements, very good. Now that I've paid so much money, they better get me good organizations. An expectation I have in my heart. And they will also, right? It's not that they're not going to give you organizations that will not be able to hire, and they'll give the organizations to you, they'll bring them to your doorstep. At our times, things were different. We take a resume, we go to an interview, we stand in the queue, and by the time our opportunity or our chance comes, they say, beat it, job closed. But now it's different, right? An organization is coming to where you are and will hire you from where you are. That's an opportunity, right? That's really an opportunity. And they'll get people from different organizations to come talk to you, share their knowledge, give you guidance, mentorship and all that. Those are opportunities, right? Making the best of the opportunity is a choice you have, an option you want to take or not take, but that's the opportunity at hand right now. And you're in the best of the time. AI, the big bubble, which is about to burst soon. I hope it doesn't, but yeah. Right? So knowledge is at the tip of your finger. You can access knowledge wherever, whatever, however, whenever. All those are opportunities. What is the threat you think then?
Competition.
Very good. Your threat is sitting right beside you. You don't take the job offer, he or she will. So if Amazon comes tomorrow to hire, will they hire everybody?
No.
Probably one or two. Now this one or two will actually decide how their preparation has been. Why do I say preparation? Knowledge exposure is the same. What class you sat in, she also sat in the same class. Or what class she sat in, he also sat in the same class. The lecturers are the same. The knowledge, the guidance, the seeking, everything is the same. What differentiates is the prep. How well has he or she prepared for that interview? And the competition just does not stop here, right? How many colleges are there in Bangalore? How many colleges are there in India? You need to factor all that in, okay? Because that's the brutal reality that you'll need to face tomorrow. They'll come with one offer. I don't care, whoever is the best will get the offer. And which is also justifiable, right? Let the best man win. So work towards your strength and weaknesses, my friends. Opportunity and threat is something that you cannot handle. I mean, you don't have any control over it. But the two on the top, you definitely have control over it. Strength and weaknesses is something that you can actually work on. What I would recommend is work on your strength in such a way that it starts generating revenue. 2, work on your weakness where your weakness is not your weakness anymore. How many like bloggers here? Bloggers? Okay, how many influencers are in Instagram? Instagram only. I call it Instagram because my wife says she'll just watch like 5 reels. Then after 1 hour she's doing the same thing. You know why? No.
One more.
Dopamine, correct. Very good. It is dopamine. So for people who don't know what dopamine is, it's like one of the hormones that's released in your brain. Yeah. And it pushes you to continue. Music, whatever, right? So that's why I call it instant garam. That adrenaline is always on the pep. So focus on your strength and see, what I would recommend is have something of your own, side hustle. Work for an employer. Why? Here you can learn how business is handled, how a corporate functions, how to interact, and one business school in Electronic City called IFIM. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. And I'm a member of Board of Studies in a couple of colleges in North India. Okay. So I was working with this girl called Vishnu Priya. She's like pretty, how do I say, okay, and not like very great, but okay with her communication, but good with her technical knowledge, very sound with her technical knowledge. So when I spoke with her and we worked together, I asked her what's your expectation? She's like, if I get an offer above 12 to 15 lakhs, I'm sorted. And I'm the only person that'll be earning bread at my family. I'm like, okay, fair enough, and we just worked for 4.5 weeks. And till that time, she has already faced 6 interviews and she did not get through. Okay, she did not get a job. So she was pretty disheartened by that. So when we worked together, I told her whatever has happened in the past, just put it behind you because you can't change that. Don't let that affect your future. What is going to come, you can prepare. Right? So we started working together. See, 99.99% is all that person's effort. Just 0.01% is my guidance. That's the reality, okay? That's the truth, to be honest, right? So one day, after all that happened, right? So I asked her 12 to 15, right? What if I say, at least I was thinking that much, she's like, I got selected. I'm like, very good, congratulations. My first question to her was, how much?
60.
She said, if I tell you, you will be surprised. So in my heart, I'm thinking, okay, she's made 25. She's reached 25 lakhs. That's why she's telling she'll surprise me. But when she said it, right, I fainted. Not literally, but I got that shock. 60 lakhs at Qualcomm she got. 60 LPA at Qualcomm. I'm like, yeah, Vishnu, Superman. Her approach was pretty simple, okay? She was really good with her basics, the foundational skills, C++, Java, all that, right? Whatever you require. Her DSA was amazing. DSA is data structure algorithms, okay? DBMS and OOPS. So her foundational skills were like really, really good. Only challenge I think was communication here and there and the structured approach to an interview. That's it. Believe me, I was so impressed that wow, where 25 lakhs, where 60 lakhs. I told her, see, whatever, then we met later, of course, and then I told her, see, whatever happened in the past was not actually good for you. Right? The companies were not good because she had failed like 12, 15 lakhs interviews already, even 10 lakhs. Something better was awaiting for her. It can happen with everybody, my friends. When you fail, don't get disheartened. Just think, something's better in store for me. That's why it's not come to me yet. It's not my time yet. Mera time aayega. It happens, right? Just think of it on those terms, like, and prepare. Don't give up. So the ideology behind is never give up. Let's just go to the next one.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So, we can actually skip this. Just move to the next one. मुद्दे पे आते हैं ना. What we are here for today. How many of us know what ATS is? Okay, very good. Application. It's applicant tracking system or application. Yeah, same thing. What does it do? Filters, okay, very good, that's the word. It filters your resume. Now let's try, I'm sure you'll know of this, but let's try to understand the background to it, right? What's the psychology behind it? Now, if an organization like Google has one position open, you know how many applications will come in? More than 10 lakhs. Actually, okay? Okay, let's talk a little lower. At Finastra, nobody has heard of that name. If there's an opening, probably 1,000 people will apply because it's there on LinkedIn and whatever, right? For one position, 1,000 people apply. Do I have the time or does my team have the time to go through all the 1,000 applicants?
No, sir.
What do? They bring in a bot, a system, an automation, and feed it with an algorithm that says, or that's told, or the algorithm says, like, if there is 70% of a keyword match depending on the JD, the job description, push the resume forward. Otherwise, auto reject. So, rightly said, filter. What it does is, basis the applicants, it will actually run through. See, it's pretty slow compared to a human. A human, an interviewer, a sourcer, the person who does the sourcing of resumes, right? He or she will source or like look through the resume within 15 seconds. Actually, it's 7 seconds. But within 15 seconds, they'll be able to tell if this is a good or not resume. The ATS actually takes time, but the advantage is it's 24 hours. It does not take breaks or does not pause after a shift and things like that. So what it does is, it will filter the resumes basis the algorithm that it has been fed with and the information with the criteria. Now my criteria, let's say for a finance role, will be like a minimum of MBA in finance or an MCOM. Okay, maybe an internship or a couple of projects, or financial acumen, skills in like accounts payable, whatever. I'm just giving like the words that's come into my mind. I set a criteria, let's say. This bot will look for all the criteria from the JD, match it with the resume, and then push forward the resume. Correct? Understood the logic, right? I'm sure you all knew about this already. Now, when this resume goes forward, this is where the actual thing happens, right? Because all this is easy. You can cheat it. Why do I say cheat it? Is because You have the JD. Naturally, when you're applying for a job, you look at the JD, right?
Yes, sir.
And then you look at the resume and then you tailor your resume. Is that the case? Or are you guys living in stone age like me, where one resume, 100 photocopy? Every job, same resume. Is it the system? Please, don't do that. For now, every job has a tailored resume. You will need to tweak or make changes to your resume basis the JD. If you're not doing that, you're just wasting your time. So tailor your resume basis the JD of the job. And there is no job that is given to you without a JD. JD is job description. Spend 5 minutes reading the JD or going through the JD and tailor your resume accordingly. Okay? Is it very complicated for you to use an ATS compliant resume? No. The answer is no. It's a pretty simple format that you can use. The objective, education, experience, skills, certification and awards and extracurricular activities, if any. Does it have to be very jazzy or modern with my photograph? Not necessary. Even a simplest form of the resume can be ATS compliant. But it needs to be structured is all. I have a copy of an ATS compliant resume in a Word format. I will share that with you. Okay? So you can just tailor it as per your needs and your... So he or she has probably looked at your resume and they have a perception built about the person, looking at the skills, achievements, projects, certifications, internships and all that, right? 30% they already have built a perception. Now the rest 70 depends on how you actually talk through your resume. Making sense? नींद आ रही है? मुझे आ रही है. What I'm saying is, my friends, don't fake it on your resume. If there is not that skill in you, don't mention it. See, I told you, even if I'm at a mediocre level, what matters the most is how passionate I am about it. What's my zeal? What's my enthu that I bring along? The way you want to structure your resume is like this. Have an objective, talk about your education, talk about your skills, talk about your certifications and internships followed by, and if you've done, when I say extracurricular activities, right, don't put like listening to music, all that stuff. Has it benefited the community? Have you done something that has made an impact? It could be some social service. It could be you giving 1 day's time at like an orphanage or an old age home. That's community service. That's ESG. Environmental social governance. That'll have much more impact versus you mentioning I'm a good cook. I like to listen to music. I like to read. There you're just setting a trap for yourself. Now, 30% resume. Let me tell you how you will need to play that 70% more. One of the most common questions, if I happen to take, I don't take any interviews anymore, but when I used to take that, I used to tell them, tell me something that's not there on your resume. And they're telling me entirely what is there on their resume. Listening. Very important, right? I told the person, tell me something that's not there on your resume. When machine, ratta. Don't do that. I want you to like think of it like this, okay? My resume, my talking points my LinkedIn, my GitHub, for technical students, my GitHub, my lead code, my code chef, my code forge, everything should be in synchronization with each other. For you, my resume, my interview, my LinkedIn should be in sync with each other. It can't be different. My objective on my resume is different. I'm asking you what you want to achieve. You're telling something else. My LinkedIn shows something else. That doesn't paint a good picture, my friends. If I tell you my ambition is to become an autopsy specialist, it better reflect on my resume and my LinkedIn as well. So once your resume is prepared, and don't memorize your resume. Understand what you put on your resume. Because you will need to back it up with words. What I tell people is, don't put stories on your resume. As a fresher, 1-page resume is good enough. And it's resume, okay? Is it resume? Resume means I'm resuming my work. I paused it, resume. Yeah? Resume, curriculum vitae, and what else? Bio? Data or data? Data. Don't ever say data, okay? Chata marenge fir log. Now, why do I say, okay, resume have keywords, okay? Why is it important to have keywords? Keywords will help you build a story. For example, let's say you've accomplished 2 projects, okay? Completed 2 projects in your tenure of your MBA, for an example. I don't want to be putting the entire detail about the project. Put 1 line about what the project was. And when asked, explain the project. Here, there is something called as STAR. Situation, task, action, result. When you strategically talk points at your interview, this will not only help them understand what you've done, but also sound really good. So what is the first question that is asked in your interview?
Introduce yourself.
Very common, right? The most common and the most important question of your interview is this question. You will be thinking like, so stupid, you have my resume before you and you're asking me like, tell me something. Just go through it, baga, and you'll know. That's the reason I say the person who's sitting at the candidate's end is in control of the interview. Because what you say is going to define how the interview is going to go. So when somebody asks me, tell me something about yourself, I want to have a structure. If the structure is similar to your resume, it will actually make a lot of sense. Why do I say this? When somebody asks me, tell me something about yourself, they are asking me about myself, right? Not my family. You would have come across, I've come across a lot of people who, when I ask them this question, I come from like a family of 4, I belong to Chhattisgarh, I belong here, I belong. But did I ask you all that? Keep it simple. Don't include your family. Don't include what your siblings do, your parents do. It's okay to tell where you're from originally, that's fine, but stop it there. Jump to education. Because that's business. I'm not interested in your personal stuff, my friend. For me, what is it that you will get on the table if I hire you? And it's return on investment, right? I'm spending 20-25 minutes with you. It better be good. And you as a candidate should also be thinking, what's the return on investment for me? I prepared bloody 3-4 days for this interview. I'm sitting on this table, and if I don't get selected, what is the return on investment for me, apart from learning? So keep it very structured, okay? So talk about yourself, one line, two line, your name and where you're from. Jump to education immediately. I don't mind you spending time with your education. I'm pursuing my MBA from here. These are like a few majors of mine, and I've done my bachelor's. Take time on your education, no problem. But the shorter, the sweeter, the better. Currently, I'm pursuing my MBA and my major is finance. That's good enough. Talk about your skills. And this major in finance has led me to develop or learn financial acumen. I know accounts payable, accounts receivable, I know derivatives, I know whatever, lending, I know capital markets, whatever your skill is, focus on your skills. Why? Because I want you to connect the dot. Your skills is brought to you about by your education. After your skills, you will talk about your certifications or your projects. And this certifications and projects are brought to you by your skills and your education. And then you will talk about your internship. So the dots always connect backwards. Heard of it? And you will stay relevant throughout the course of your self-introduction. Your self-introduction should not exceed more than 180 seconds. Has anybody told you that?
No, sir.
Keep it structured. We want to keep it short and simple. Let them ask you questions and you answer. Because what you say is what they're going to ask you about. Now let's say I speak about a couple of projects. If I tell the entire story myself, what have I left the interviewers to ask me about? Just tell them, these are the skills, these are the certifications that I've completed, and these are a couple of projects that I've done. If they ask you, what did you do with your projects? What did you do at your internship? Then create the story, use that STAR methodology. This was the situation. This was the task at hand. This is the action I took, and this was the result or the outcome that came about with my projects, with my certifications, with my internship experience. I'll send you this deck, don't worry. You can just refer to it later. So everything that you say has to be concise. Don't over talk, don't under talk either. Keep it optimum and give good information. Here what happens is there is a very little chance to make grammatical errors if you follow the pattern. Now if you see the same pattern resembles on your resume also. So they can just scan through and see that there is a lot of relevance with what you're saying and what's mentioned on your profile or your resume. The lesser you speak, the lesser chances of making grammatical errors. The broader your approach is towards telling the story, the more grammatically incorrect you might sound. Keep it limited. Let them ask you and you answer. This way it will only be that you spoke business, you spoke relevance, you were cohesive throughout. Even if you're not that good, it's very difficult for the opposite person to judge you in that first instance. 30-45 minutes, how can you tell that the person is really good or not, let alone a fresher? So it's all the matter of how you've done your interview, believe me. You don't have 5 years of work experience that I can gauge you with your experience. It's just your foundational knowledge that I can judge you by and what you've said in your interview. So you understand the importance of this question. It might sound so silly and simple, introduce yourself, but you can make it an impactful question or an impactful answer. That's why I said your first impression is going to be something that will last. It's as to how you will answer, and it will lead you to be in control of that entire interview throughout. what are like few other things that, people look in? Clarity, conciseness, relevance, very, very important. What I'm saying, is it relevant to what's there on my... People just don't look at resumes these days, they look at your LinkedIn's also. So be mindful, my friends. The relevance, the achievements. See, achievements, you don't have to achieve something big, okay? Even how many of us, you're in like second year or first year, right? First year MBA or second semester. How many of you have started doing projects already? What about others? No time? You have children to look after? Please, my friends, take up a project. It doesn't have to be given by the college. You can go to ChatGPT, say I am studying at a business school and I want to develop a project. My background is finance, my background is HR, my background is marketing. Give me a project that I can complete within 4 to 8 weeks. It should have an impact. Give quotations to it. The better your prompt is, the better the output is. That's prompt engineering, right? Earlier, I asked Google one-liner, it'll give me 100 lines of answer. Now, I ask 10 lines of a question to get one precise line of an answer. Leverage it, my friends. It will not just give you the project suggestion, it will also give you the roadmap how to complete that project. Please, I insist. All this is going to have a lot of weightage. There are some resumes, as soon as you look at it, you just throw it. Not because, the resume is not good. Just by the thought that the person didn't invest any time in himself or herself. No projects, no certifications, no internship. What good can this person be? Competitive world you all live in, please, I insist, you still have 6 months. Because the last 6 months will just go by. The runaround, the placements, this, that, you'll not have time. You've got 6 months at hand. Your parents have invested money, my friends. Anybody like crorepati already? If that's the case, then I won't push you. Your parents have sacrificed a lot. You just don't understand it now. You will understand it when you have kids. The respect for my parents now has gone like 2 folds for me. Into 2. Why? Because I know as a parent how much of sacrifice, hard work, effort they would have put in when we were young. उन लोग को आसमान से नहीं आ रहा ना पैसा. They are working for it. You don't even know. Sometimes they would have slept hungry just to feed you. They might have taken loans without your knowledge to give you education. You don't know. Because everything looks good on the surface. Only when you delve inside, you know what is the reality. Everything might look good. We don't ask our parents' tensions. But there's always something going on, right? It's not easy for everybody. At least for their sake, please get a job after this. It's not just your tuition fees that they have invested in, your staying, your food, your travel, all that is a cost. For them, it's not your money. Don't think that, okay, they're expecting me to get a good job and start giving them income. No, that's not parents, that's wife. Let me tell you the difference. Or spouse. Sorry, girls. It can be the other way around also. But for parents, right, it's just mera beti, mera beta. If they're successful, I'm happy. I don't care how much money they make or what they're giving in return. Believe me, they don't really care. Because at the age of 45, 50, what can they enjoy when they've given their youth to you? That's the reality, right? My parents sacrificed everything. When they were young, they could have had fun. They invested in us. They could have gone to the movies, they could have traveled the world with the money, but they said, you know what, we want to educate our children. Is what every parent thinks, right, for their children. And at an age when you start earning, they're not in a capacity to handle pleasure at that age. 45, 50, 55. What will they enjoy? But one thing can actually make up to their lost time. That's you being successful. That's you showing that I am capable, that you've invested your money in me, your time in me. Today I proved myself by getting an offer, and I'll show you that I'm capable. That's all that they're looking for. And if you can do that much, you at least done some justice. There's a saying, when a mother gives birth to a child, right, and that one sigh that she takes out of that pain, right, entire life, if I carried my mother, if I bathed her, if I clothed her, if I gave her food, if I fed her, entire life, that will not return that one sigh that she took in pain when she delivered me. That's the comparison of a mother. And if I'm whiling away my time, roaming around, eating, I don't stop you from doing that. Do all that, have fun in life. But understand what's the reason you're here. A smart person will do everything, but will never forget the actual goal and the reason. So pay them back in kindness, and that kindness is you doing something good to yourself. Do you think after investing time, effort, money and all that, they would want to see you struggle? They've struggled to keep you happy, and all that they're asking for is you be happy. Get a job, be sorted. When you're here, right, there are so many tantrums and taunts that they need to go through behind. The neighbor will come and say, you know what, see, your daughter did engineering, I told you, it's not a cup of her tea. You still got it done. What is she doing now? That pinches, that pokes their heart. Don't you think? That's just one statement, right? Not even neighbor, our relatives. I told you your son can't do it. The father loses the confidence. Why? Because of us. We are having fun here. I'm not saying it's just like getting a job. Become entrepreneurs. Do something of your own. Start your own venture. Do public speaking. Make money. Go YouTubing. Go blogging. Whatever. Become a writer. Nothing is difficult in this day and age. But just get sorted. If you tell your parents that I got a job, I can make 25, 30, 50, 60, whatever thousands in a month, believe me, they'll be relieved. Okay, the time, money we invested, paid back. My son, my daughter made the best of the situation, and they ensured that it's taken care of. And that's what they're looking for. That's all they're looking for. So please, my friends, projects, be competitive. If you have projects, internships are easy. If an internship is there, my thought process is the person has already interned at an organization, knows the corporate culture, can blend in well. If I happen to hire him or her, it will not be a problem for them to blend in. They know the corporate culture, they know the pressure, they can handle it. If a person is unknown, it's like me taking a risk. I'll be taking a chance. Will the person blend in? Will the person adjust? Will the person adapt? All that, right? That's where your projects, your certifications, your internships will play a very important role. Did I make you emotional? No?
Yes.
साला इतना कोशिश करके no बोल रहा है. If I did, that was the intent also, because that's the reality, right? Please, okay? And it's not a big thing, come on. now that you have all this chat GPT and all that fancy stuff, making a project is not difficult, believe me. So please do it, okay? It's not going to take a lot of your time also. You can enjoy, have fun and learn also. That's why I say life should be like, fulfilling. You have fun, you do your due diligence also. You accomplish what you need to accomplish also. All right?
Yes.
Okay. Did I take too much time?
Thank you.
Who's hungry? Not for food. Oh, please don't ask. It's like I'm holding you. Don't pee. Please walk out. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up.
Next one, sir.
No, it's okay. You have a pencil or a pen that I can use? Yes. Think of this as a pencil, okay? I'll finish in the next half an hour. I'm kidding. 10 minutes, give me. Think of this as a pencil. What does it sharpener? I can't sharp it with blade. Why sharpener? Sharpening. Correct, right? For this pencil to be sharp, it requires sharpening. Now imagine the process that it goes through when it is sharpened. It goes through a lot of pain and endurance, right? Completely getting peeled off. Humans are very similar to the pencil. Unless you let go of your past and endure a lot of pain, you will not sharpen yourself. That's point number one. Point number two. What's in progress again? Yeah, okay. Point number two, if the pencil is sharp and it's not writing, what is the point? Waste, right? Waste of effort, right? Similarly, us. If I've sharpened my skills and I'm not putting it to use, it's pointless. I stay sharp but without use. Useless. And point number three, and the most important, what's inside the pencil?
Lead.
Lead, right? So without lead, there's no pencil, there's no pain, endurance, there's no writing, there's no activity, and there's no performance. What's inside us, the character, is the most important. I might become a millionaire tomorrow, which I intend to, but if I don't have my character, if I can't remain with my character, then it's pointless. I am just like another lousy human being who's made a lot of money without a cause. Having said that, I hope this session, I won't say learning, was a reminder for the time and investment that you've done, your parents have done, for you to realize, understand and wake up from that dream and start putting effort into yourselves. Okay? Having said that, I want to thank you so much for hearing me out. I hope it was not very boring, but we got to share something that we can, remember each other by. Thank you so much. We'll just take the last 10 minutes for questions, okay? Okay. Any questions? No questions. Which means you all slept throughout. Either, there are two options. One, I was crystal clear, which I know I was not. Two, everybody slept throughout. Which was it? This I won't buy. MCQ में भी wrong बोल रहे हो. And it's not even 4, just 2 options. Ask. Please feel free to ask. Yes, my friend.
My question is regarding in Finastra, like they work on equities and derivatives, right?
Correct.
Will they be in mergers and acquisitions as well?
Kind of. So how we do it is, we don't do it for ourselves, but we help other organizations to merge and acquire.
Okay. And when it comes to equities and derivatives, what do we majorly focus on? I mean, option trading or something like that? Or?
We focus on making more money.
Obviously.
So I'm not a specialist in that field, but see, I'll tell you what we do. So I think it'll give you a better idea as to what we do as a business and how we make money. So you can relate to how is it that they function. So we are an organization that actually moves money around. So we are a product organization, okay? We'll build a software basis the customer needs. We will tweak the software as to what they ask us to do. We will enhance it and then we will sell the software to them. So if you pull out your phones and if you go to Google and you say how much money does Finastra move in one day, you will be surprised. Just do that. Just open Google and ask how much money does Finastra move in one day. One day. When somebody told it to me, right, I was like, fuck, stupid. Google only doesn't make so much money, and you're saying like, you'll move around so much money. What's the answer?
7 trillion.
Trillion? In one day. So, how much is 1 billion? 9,500 crores INR, correct? 9,500 crores INR. How much is 1 trillion? 950,000 crores in one day. Let's make it simple to understand. Let's say I am Finastra and you're giving 100 rupees. We are moving, right? We are not making. You're giving me 1,000 rupees to move, to transfer, to give it to somebody. Right? Now I say, okay boss, you give me 1,000 rupees, I will transfer your 1,000 rupees, but my charge is 10 paise. Or my charge is 1 paise for that 10,000 rupees. For 7 trillion, if I'm making even 1 paise, am I good? For every 1,000 rupees? I'm sorted, right? So that's how we make money. People are using our softwares to transfer money, move money around the globe. Okay, and we are taking a cut. Because what is it they want? They want trust. If I transfer like a Google Pay to my friend, I want to ensure that it reaches him or her. Right? That's the trust, right, I have with Google Pay. And they're taking a cut. It might not look like they're not taking, but they do. That's the reality. So that's how we are moving the money around. So everything that we do, right, is for one of our clients. So we develop software and we sell the software to our clients. And so our clients are B2B, business to business, okay? So mostly our customers are banks. And in these banks, world's top 50 banks, if there are, 45 of them are our customers. So elite customer, elite service, elite money making also. So that's where we like make a lot of our money. But thank you for asking. I hope that can help you relate and answer your question. Any other questions, my friends? Yes, please.
As a teacher, when you were taking the interviews, what are the points you see while interviewing any finance guy for taking the finance role for equities and all?
Sorry, just wanted to take a sip of water. So, in finance, I look at something that shows that the person has like core finance knowledge. See, I'll be honest, okay? As an HR, I don't really care about what knowledge you possess and all that, okay? But that judgment will be done by the actual interviewer or the business, right? Because only when you clear your business interview is when you will sit through your HR interview. And mostly, I know that if you've cleared all that and you've come to this stage, I will just check your attitude. Your aptitude is already gauged upon, right? Because that's how you cleared your business round of interview and you're here. My role is to understand, is this person a good fit culturally? So I'll be looking at that, but to answer your question, if they ask me to probably look through a person's resume, so I look at something where the person has invested time developing his or her core skills. Now this will only be showcased with projects, certifications, and any internships that the person has achieved in their educational life.
From your knowledge, what are the core knowledge that is needed for a finance side?
I'll send you one of the best finance resumes, okay? I'm not from finance background.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? Yes, please. I think we are in a small room. You can just ask.
Hello, sir.
Hello there.
It was really a great session.
Thank you, man.
So I'm a guy in marketing. So I have a question in that, the big companies like yours, do they really take marketing? Because I've seen in most of the JDs and all, they take guys for marketing of more than 4 plus 5 years of experience.
Yeah, I'll tell you the reason why. So marketing we have, but not in Bangalore, okay? We have in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So, and also I'll back up your reasoning to it as to why they look for people with experience. Now, I told you that, you can sit down, my friend. The reason we have big clients, right, who pay us more is because they have that trust within us, right? They have certain expectations. Now, what happens is if I send somebody, so I'll give you another example, okay? The sales roles that are there in Finastra, right? Their salaries are usually above 1 crore. Why? Because they're sitting with big clients, and when they close the deal, it's not about their salary anymore. That one incentive that they make, right, can help them retire. It's a $1 billion deal, right? And for that, I can't have somebody who's just fresh out of college. I need to have somebody with that expertise and that background who can go crack the deal. Similarly is marketing. Because if you have to make a booking or a sale, the background strategy is marketing. You know that by now, right? Because you're into marketing, you know how it functions, right? If I market the product well, sales is a cake. But if my marketing is poor, then salesmen will need to do all the job. So that's the reason why usually organizations that are into critical business, right, they look for somebody who's a pro, right? It means no harm, but in a place where the business is huge, I think they will fall back to hiring somebody who's got a lot of experience. But in places like I said, Kuala Lumpur, there they have a very few banks that they work with. In that, our customers are maybe 1 or 2 at the max, right? There it will still be okay to start with somebody who's just fresh out of college and leverage them to be a good person or a good resource. I won't say person, a good resource after a couple of years. So that's how it works. Because it's a risk factor, right? One is reputational risk. That is huge. If I lose my client tomorrow, imagine the number of businesses that I lose. Okay, I hope that answers your question.
Anurag.
Yes, my friend.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Anurag.
Hello, Anurag.
Sir, I had a question about that under-promising thing you said.
Okay.
Sir, if we do that every time with our boss, won't they realize that this guy can do the work quickly, but it's taking his time to look good or something?
Don't make it so obvious. Take your time. That's the reason I took sit down, Anurag. Thank you for the question. That's the reason I said utilize it and become a pro in your personal life before you take it to your professional life, right? So you say 45 minutes and then you're able to complete in 5 minutes. Don't show them that you're able to. Unless you show them, they won't know. But then give it in 30 minutes. So Anurag, 30 minutes में दे सकता है तो क्यों बोल रहा है 45 minutes? tell them, sir, sometimes it's not in my control, right? And what I promised you, I want to live up to that promise. Just make it better. So they know, like, okay, Anurag, if I tell him, he'll say 45 minutes, so I'll tell him beforehand 30 minutes. They'll also play smart, right? They'll also throw their card. So you do it in 28 minutes. It's not that you have to like show an extravagant difference. It can be 1 minute, but early. And don't always, that's the reason I said don't throw all your cards at once, right? Don't show them that you're like that capable that you're able to do it in 20 minutes, but are telling 45 minutes. Keep a buffer is what I would like suggest. Okay? You have a follow-up question? Okay, fair. Any other questions?
So one last.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, buddy.
My name is Praveen Kumar.
Hello, Praveen.
So, as a HR, if there are piles of resumes with you or on your table, what draws your attention to a particular resume that you think that this is the one guy or this resume is such resume which gives you?
If there are so many resumes, sit down, Praveen. If there are so many resumes on my desk, dustbin will draw my attention first. Like, what are they doing here? Like, but to answer your question, right, I will look at like conciseness. I don't want like, extra jazz on it. Simple points, okay, and not a very lengthy resume. Because it depends on the role that you're hiring for also. If I'm hiring for like a director, then 3 pages is good enough. But if I'm hiring a fresher, then 1 page with relevant points and conciseness in the resume, I think will be good enough. But believe me, these days, right, nobody will like keep a resume on your table. It's all like digital, right? So, and a filter of the candidates will come to the sourcing team. So there are breakdowns, okay? So first is filtration. 2, there is something called as a pre-screening, where a team will sit, pre-screen the resume and then push it forward. Then it'll be like the coordination team who will call the person to actually test their communication and the relevance to the role. Once this screening is done and the coordination is done is when you will actually be set up for an interview, right? And in an interview, they like look through your resume before they, start with your process and all that. So an eye-catching resume, if that's what you mean, will be a resume that's as simple as it can get, but if the person is able to like, how do I say, back it up with words, then nothing like it. Okay? Any other questions?
So one last question.
Yes, please.
Sir, actually, even I am aiming for HR.
Okay.
Already, specialized in HR.
Okay.
What is the one tip you would like to give me throughout my HR profession, which I have to keep in mind? One tip that will create an impact.
Don't get into HR. I'm kidding. Don't think with emotion. Think with rational. In HR's life, there will come a lot of situation where you'll need to make tough decisions, okay? So I was with JP Morgan Chase for 5.5 years, okay? There was a time during and after COVID that we had to let go of people. It's a very difficult conversation. It's called like sweaty palm conversation. In a sweaty palm conversation, keep rationale behind. Okay, don't get emotional. He or she is close to me. He or she has family problem. I'll ask you a question, okay, to your question. One person is physically or differently abled, physically challenged. Let's say one person is physically challenged on a wheelchair. One person is perfectly normal. Both of them come at 10:01. 10 o'clock is the entry time. They come at 10:01. Who should I allow? Who should I allow inside? Okay, so one is a physically challenged person on a wheelchair. Both are late, by the way. Both are late. Okay, so this person who's physically like challenged is in a wheelchair, so he had to like whatever difficulty he had to go through, and the other person is also 1 minute late. The person who's normal. Who should I allow inside?
Physically challenged.
No one, bloody ruthless you are, man. Who's that? Physically challenged, you would say?
If I would consider, I would consider.
Okay. But the answer is no one. Rule is a rule, right? If I try to, be a little good to the person who's physically challenged, then I'm not an HR. The rule is rule for. Instead, I'm sympathizing him or her in a wrong way. I'm treating them as a disabled person. I want to be treating them as equivalent to anybody else. That's your policy. And I'm not saying you're trying to be strict on him or her. I'm just saying, in your eyes, the person should be perfectly normal person. Right? So don't judge with emotion. Judge with rationale. Rule she set is good with me, and they'll be really happy. Okay, so that's one suggestion that I would like to give. Okay, as an HR professional.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Any other questions? Yes, my friend. Hello, Balaji. Shh. Sorry, I can't hear you, my friend.
Pursuing MBA.
Okay.
Production and operation management.
Okay.
So my question is like, as you told, right, we have to modify the resume according to the job description. We are applying. We somehow we manage and we put something we don't know.
Don't do. Don't.
We put that and we cleared the round and we got the job offer.
What's the problem?
Yeah. So the problem is after getting a job, how we can struggle and how we can overcome the thing that we have learned. At the time of the part in the interview, we cracked it, but while going into the factory, we may lack it. Company may find we said wrong.
Very good question, by the way. Thanks, Balaji, for asking.
Taking it. And what is the KPI we need to track that time to match it, something what we lack and something we need to improve.
Okay.
Give some time, one year of probation period.
1 year nobody will give, Balaji. They'll give 3 months probation. Yeah.
But that's what I'm like.
Yeah, very good question. Thank you for asking, my friend. See, somehow if you manage to clear your interview, right, it's a good thing that you're able to sit down. You're able to go through. Now you realize that, okay, you know what? No more theory, it's all practical. My suggestion would be, take things very seriously from day one, because you know that other people that have got selected with you might not be as, bad, or I won't say bad, but a little incompetent than I am. Because if I've cleared something where I know that I've not been really good, but somehow I've cleared the interview, I will need to try to match up to the pace of the expectation, because any organization will train you, correct? They'll have a probation period. In this probation period, there is usually either training or they'll assign a mentor or somebody or a trainer that can help you fail as soon as possible, learn as fast as possible. Because this is actually going to help you get through your probation. And anything that you do diligently for 3 months, that's why probation is 3 months usually, 90 days. Anything that you do diligently and fail and repeat and come back with questions and learn, you'll become good at it eventually. So I think that will be my course of action. Now that I know that I've got through luck till here, I don't want it to be luck anymore. I want to ensure I put in my hard work and dedication, because not many people would have got a similar kind of an opportunity like you did. So I think that will be the best approach. Yeah, fail fast, learn fast. Any other questions? Yes. Next we'll go with you, my friend.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, buddy. Hello, Rohit.
Sir, as you mentioned beginning, you told that number of jobs floating on LinkedIn and other platform. The many people are entering through networks and referrals. May I know the exact way, what is the procedure for their recruitment and how do referrals work in an organization?
So let's say you have somebody that you know works in an organization. Hypothetically, you just send them a request and ask them if there is any like position that is open that I can be, aligned to. This is my resume. Please feel free to refer me. I'm not saying the first approach will get you fruit. This might be your 100th approach and somebody will respond to you. It's usually like that. But if you know them really well, then it's easier that way. That's why I said network is net worth. Right? And the reality is, if I refer you for an HR, they don't get paid anything. But if you're into let's say finance and you're asking some finance person to refer you in their organization, they usually have a referral bonus. If you're good enough, they'll also make some money or benefit out of you. At Finastra, you know what is the referral bonus? 1,000 USD. So catch hold of these people. Go to LinkedIn, search. I'm not saying it's easy, but you can do it, right? They'll also make money and they're also looking for good candidates. Why not? It's a win-win for both of them. Any other questions? Yes. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Yes.
Sir, I'm Simran and we are all grateful to have you here.
Thank you, Simran.
Sir, my question is, what motivates you to become an HR? And I'm also an HR, so I want some tips and suggestions.
Okay, thank you for asking the question. Nothing motivated me to become an HR, Simran. It was not by choice. I just happened to become an HR. So I said, you know what, क्या ही करते होंगे HR लोग? They're just enjoying most of the time. But when I became an HR, I know the pain of it. Yeah, usually we used to get emails from HR only when it's Diwali, Independence Day celebration, this, that, cake cutting. But now I know what is the work that's put behind. So one thing that motivates me in reality of being an HR is, how is it that you can help people being an HR? What is it that you can do to make a difference as an HR, right? See, like I said, there are a lot of times in life that you can actually help and you can be honest. See, some people don't make it, right? They'll come to the final round and they'll not be able to make it. Now, sometimes the decision will boil down to my decision. If I want, I can select them. If I want, I can reject them. In this point in time, right, I ask them their family background. I ask them, how important is the job to you? I might have a better person than you technically or as a talented. But for me, what matters is how interested, how important is the job to you, right? So here I usually use some sentiment, I won't say emotion, but sentiment to align the person, because if I figure out that this job is more important to you than the person who is better skilled than you, I will give you the job, right? So this is one thing that keeps me going. Helps me, get myself motivated to do what I do, because I have that content in my heart later, okay, probably I didn't make the right decision, but I'm happy to who I gave the job to. Yeah? Yes, please.
First of all, thank you for coming and talking with me.
Pleasure.
It was great listening to you.
Thanks.
So coming back to my question, I want to ask on behalf of experienced people. So we have years of experience and they have left their job and come here and study. So what they should write in their resume or how they should position themselves, and especially for the technical people, we have done all technical stuff.
Okay.
We are going in consulting roles or something. Then what we should write, the experience part.
So you've got an engineering background?
Yeah.
And then MBA? Software engineer. Why the switch?
Because I wanted to study and also for the
So you've answered your own question.
No, but I have to write
Yeah, so you mentioned the reality, right? You tell them that, sit down. So you tell them that I felt like I still want to be educated despite of me being an engineer and have an engineering background. I want to like really, educate myself and gain more edge versus others. Plain and simple, you don't need to beat around the bush. Keep it straight and forward. I might probably have a job for you, my friend, at Finastra. So just send your resume to Santosh, okay? I'm not guaranteeing it. But just be point blank, okay? And there's no harm telling the reality, right? Instead of like beating around the bush, giving jazz, I think it's just like fair to say like, this is what I wanted to achieve, so I said be it. I'll stop my work, I will educate myself, I'll get back on track. And it's a good thing. Yes?
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Sonia Patel. My UG background is engineering, but I have great interest in finance. So will the HR reject my application just because I have a background of engineering?
Not necessarily. Why will they reject you unless your skill is that?
Let's suppose a person who has done this UG in finance and me, both are subjects. The HR, who will they choose?
It's not an HR decision. I don't know why you guys relate and spoil HR's name. It's the person. It's the person who's making the decision. That is the business, right? A finance person can only gauge how good you are with finance. And in all honesty, right? Even if the person's like thought would be to like have somebody from the finance background for a finance job, and you're sitting as a choice, right? If the person is like sane, I would say he or she should make a very informed decision basis how your interview went. Right? Because if it's a matter of decision between you and somebody who's done BCom as a graduate, it's not like, okay, relevance is there, but the passion and the skill also should match that relevance. I'm talking about the BCom, right? Now that you have engineering, the person who's got BCom has more edge towards you, right? I mean, more edge versus you to the job, but it's how good your interview went, how knowledgeable you were, and how, like, what kind of a skill do you bring. So I think the decision should be based on that. Yeah, sure. Any other questions? What time is your lunch?
1:30.
Oh shit, 1:30 got over. So it closes by 1:30?
No, sir, it starts by 1.
Then you have all the time in the world.
Sir?
Yes.
One more question. You said network is our net worth, so how to build that?
Networking?
Yes.
Networking?
In practically, like talking to people and like because it like looks easy, but it's just not that.
It is easy actually. So, how many people do you reach out to on LinkedIn?
300.
All throughout, right? Till now, right? You're saying? I'll tell you of people who would have reached out to more than 3,000 to 30,000 people throughout. They'll reach out to 100 people in a day. Because the reality is, not everybody will respond, right? So you need to put in some effort, my friend. 300 is nothing. And how many have like connected with you? 300 people you reached out to?
This is not 300. I don't know the number I reached out to, but my connection is 300.
Connections are 300. So 300 people have accepted your, like how, what? So it's just sending the request and they accepting, that's it? So you need to build upon that, right? So so let's say you pinged me, you say I'm a HR student and whatnot, and you like connected with me and I accepted your request, then you need to follow up, right? Otherwise it's just there, it's just paused there. You say like, thank you for accepting my request, this is what I'm interested in, I'm looking for your guidance, or I'm seeking your guidance. If you could, probably share what is this and ask your questions or pose your questions, then probably it'll make more sense, right? If you just like connect with the person and stop there, that's no connection. That's just a connection on a number, but there's no like real connection, right? So that's how you build your network. And then you ask like if there are any seminars, any conclaves, anything that is happening, please do let me know. I want to be a part of it. I want to learn. So you'll get into the community, and once you're there, everything will happen automatically. So that's how it is. It's not just like getting connected to the person, he or she accepting, and end of the story. No, you build from there on, right? Sure. We good?
Yes.
Let's leave? Yes. Yay, one for lunch. All right then, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for all your
Pleasure.
time and presence. And this is not a really easy job to stand for 3 hours, motivating us and keeping us engaged. Really not at all easy, sir.
Thank you so
so much for all your time, presence. And please do visit our campus again.
Oh, I will.
One takeaway which I want to mention here from this session is there are 3 C's that are important for our life: choices, chances, and changes. If you don't make a choice today, you will not get a chance tomorrow. And if you don't take a chance tomorrow, you will not be able to create that change. Leaving this thought in your mind, now I would like to welcome Niyati to deliver vote of thanks. And this is the last, whereas for 2 minutes extra. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of IIBS, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to Mr. Mohin Mohammad from Finastra for leading today's Resume to Recruitment session. Sir, your expertise as a LinkedIn top HR voice and a global talent attraction leader has been incredibly impactful. We are especially grateful for the practical advice you shared on the recruiter's perspectives, understanding what professionals actually look for in a pile of resumes, avoiding pitfalls, the specific mistakes fresher must avoid to maintain professional credibility, standing out strategies to differentiate ourselves during HR screening process. Your session has truly helped us understand how to master the art of getting hired. We appreciate you taking the time to visit our campus and for providing us with the confidence to transition from campus to corporate world. Thank you once again for such an engaging and valuable session.
Thank you. Hey, she came back. She said she won't come back, no?
Yes.